Welcome back, everybody. More than 332,000 people in Australia live with dementia. Now, that number is expected to climb to 400,000 within the next decade.
It's pretty scary, isn't it? But now new studies reveal how a few simple changes to your diet could make your memory last longer. And here to tell us more is Dr. Caroline West. Caroline, good morning to you. Experts are saying that it's the food we eat that is damaging our memory most. How is that?
Well, certainly the types of food that we eat can affect things like our mood, our dementia risk, and may in the short term even affect our memory. There's some really interesting research that's come out of the University of California, and it looked at the level of trans fats in the diet. Now, these are the nasty fats that are often contained in junk foods, and it looked at the link between that and possible memory recall problems. What they found is the more trans fat you had in the diet, the worse your memory in terms of recalling words. Now, trans fats, some people might be a bit confused about what these are. Some of them are found naturally in certain meats and dairy products. They're fine. It's the trans fats that we've manipulated. So essentially we've taken a chemical process and moved a liquid vegetable oil into being a solid. And these trans fats have become the darling of the junk food and packaged food industry because at room temperature they'll keep the food in a sort of solid state. So when you pick up the baked food, you know, the biscuit, the pastry, the bun, it won't sort of liquefy in your fingers. So it improves the shelf life of some of these processed and packaged foods, but it has been said that trans fats may shorten our own shelf life.
Another study has proven that calorie intake is a big contributor to this. So what does this tell us about us?
Well, this is an interesting area. The whole question of if we eat less, can we live longer? If we eat less calories, can we preserve our brain function? Now, most of this research has actually been done in mice, so how it's going to translate into humans is still a little unclear, but what they've done with this research out of New York is reduce the calorie intake in mice, and they've been able to demonstrate that there's less gene turnover, which may preserve brain function to some degree. So the question for humans is, if we reduce our calorie load by perhaps around 20%, which is 500 calories a day, will we equally have the same brain-preserving functions seen? So I don't think anybody's going to want to sort of flick 500 calories from their diet anytime soon, but perhaps by understanding the mechanism here with calorie restriction, they'll be able to develop some sort of medication that can mimic the same result. So it could be the types of foods and also the amount of food that we eat that impacts on brain function. But it gets back to basic sort of healthy food guidelines, doesn't it?
Well, in terms of what sort of foods to boost brain power, what's recommended? I saw up there the Mediterranean diet.
Well, the Mediterranean diet appears again and again because it's such a fantastic diet. You know, anybody that's been to that part of the world will have seen those wonderful salad platters and vegetables, beautiful fish, nuts, olive oil. All of these foods are highly brain protective. So even if we stick to the basics and include as many fruits and vegetables in our diet as possible, which is 5 servings of vegetables, which is about 2.5 cups. Now, only about 7% of Australians are hitting that target each day. So even eating more vegetables would go a long way in boosting our diet. And
it would make you feel better too.
It would make you feel better, make your gut function better, keep your heart disease risk down. So
prevent the dementia.
Yeah.
All right. Good information. Really interesting stuff, Caroline. Thank you very much.